Well, hello and welcome to ASAP's Industry Leaders live interview. And today I'm very pleased to welcome Claire Parry, who is a company director at Week2Week. Week2Week specialise in providing serviced apartments and houses in the northeast of England, support clients with accommodation requirements across the UK. Claire, hello, thank you very much for being with us today.
Hi, James. Good to be here.
Tell us a bit about Week2Week then, and what your aspirations are about the organisation and the company and where it's sort of come from, so listeners can understand what it is your aspirations are.
Week2Week is a family business. You know, we've come from family roots, and largely our aspirations, are continuing to share the passion that we have in the industry to support business travellers, as well as leisure travellers, and really sort of continue to be a regional go-to industry leader in the area. We've been established for a long time, so long may that continue.
Based in the northeast of the UK, what have you seen in the market around there? What are the trends that are going on, and certainly what and how has that affected the economy from that side of things?
We've seen, obviously, the last year has been particularly challenging. We've seen a larger presence in the short-term rental market, with individuals listing on Airbnb, and continuing to be a disruptor in the marketplace, I guess. During the pandemic, some of the smaller providers have been able to offer lower rates, so ADR is a lot lower than it would normally be. So I think it's going to take time to bring that back and return to normal. I also think that there's a more of a demand for regulated accommodation in the area as well. There's a lot of rental fraud. I know Chris Morn talks about this a lot in ISAAP, and we're very much transparent in the sense that we do what we say on the tin, and I think that's really important, that we have some kind of that our colleagues and peers in the industry are doing things as they should be, with integrity, and with the compliance status that we have with ISAAP. I think that allows us to be on a level playing field with our clients, so they know what they're getting from a product perspective. So yeah, I think that's really important. Like I say, from a economy perspective, I think we are looking to overcome the hurdles that we've encountered this year. And like I say, I think we're looking at business travel show. We were talking about 18 months to as much as 5 years to return and come back to some kind of normality. So I guess I echo those timescales in returning to where we need to be,
where we were.
Yeah.
And I think you talk about credibility, and you talk about differentiation and some of the associated risks there are with regard to the platforms, that the unregulated risks that you talked about, and that's a big part of what we're all about, what we're trying to do. And of course, you've been a huge supporter of that. But serviced apartments specifically, we're hearing, and the conversations we're having in the business travel world predominantly, are going to exit this pandemic in a stronger position. We're hearing that all the time. Serviced apartments are the place to be. You can isolate, you can not necessarily be in an environment whereby you are mixing with other guests as a client. Would you agree with that? And if that's right, how do you think we can best ready ourselves to be ready for those challenges that are going to come?
I guess because we've operated, we've been fortunate in the sense that we've continued throughout the pandemic, and we've supported clients, in-house international clients when we went into lockdown, and also essential workers during this period. So we've seen different levels of anxiety for travellers. And I think one of the biggest benefits of a serviced apartment is that the travellers, the visitors, they get to control their own environment, whether that be from a hygiene perspective. We've been quite flexible during this period where we've offered, no housekeeping, linen, or housekeeping if they feel comfortable with it. Touch points and things like that. People tend not to want to go through large sort of contact reception areas and that sort of thing. So with the serviced accommodation that we have being in residential areas, like I say, they can certainly, they have more control over their own environment, and it's a home from home, so they don't need to worry about, living on microwave meals, for example, or they can cook in their own kitchen. They've got full washing facilities and that sort of thing, and they can work from the apartments as well. So if there are greater restrictions, it's that there's more space to live in. Often the apartments might have a balcony or some outdoor space as well that they can utilise. Preparation wise, I guess from my perspective, it's about building on traveller confidence, which we're already starting to see small amounts of, with the vaccine and with cases decreasing and restrictions easing. So we need to continue on that path. So we need to continue to be safe. I think, like I say, for me, it's traveller confidence, which is going to take time to restore. I think, for me, we have provision very much for all kinds of travellers. More so, like I say, in the UK, I think we're going to see, a large amount of leisure travellers. Certainly with the international travel restrictions, and then as things start to ease, like I say, probably in around sort of 18 months, I would guess, we're looking at, hopefully international travel starting to make a bit of a comeback, and that sort of thing. So I guess be prepared. I would say, everyone needs to have all their hygiene and compliance in place from a cleanliness and safety perspective, and make sure that you share that story in your visual, and you convey that message to your guests.
And it is all about communication and awareness, isn't it? And we share it with all of our members. We're regularly contacted by guests arriving at properties, and I need to say, for the caveat here, is it's not member properties, of course, but they are arriving and they see that ASAP is the vehicle in which they report concerns or faults or anything that is of concern to them. And we're regular, as I say, we're regularly contacted by individuals complaining that the properties that they've booked as not as they had hoped them to be. So what are you seeing in your market in the Northeast, specifically around customers' expectations of serviced accommodation, and what should those customers be aware of?
Mm-hmm. I think there are some not so nice stories, and like I mentioned before, there is rental fraud that goes on, so potentially a listing that doesn't exist, but as you say, not our members. I think it's important to verify, if the customer is able to pick up the phone and contact the company, to speak to somebody, to check out reviews, look at ASAP directory, or have a look at the listing on IPRAC, or even things like where we're part of our local Chamber of Commerce, have a look at that and verify that the company is true, or the listing or the host is what they say they are. So your own due diligence when booking, I guess. Yeah.
And here's the question: we hope we're exiting this period of the pandemic, and we're going to go back to some kind of normal. If you were able to predict the next 12, 18 months or so, what would you be saying it looks like this time next year, the landscape?
It's a difficult question. I think, providing we stick to this path, as I said before, we will see an increase in confidence in people starting to move around safely. I think, you know, things like the hygiene sort of processes and things like that, the COVID-19 policies, all of that is here to stay for the foreseeable, you know, masks, etc. And I think as cases continue to decrease, you know, we will become, you know, adjusted and accustomed to moving around under these conditions. And like I say, it's already our new normal, isn't it? So it's just you know, it's when people start to leave their homes and interact again and see families and things, and you know, it'll just be increased volume. Hopefully, you know, we manage to not have to go into any future lockdowns and things like that, you know, because I think that would be a setback. But like I say, all being well, in 18 months' time, I'd like to think that international travel, you know, with regards to the vaccine passports and that sort of thing, that, you know, we've got more of a grounding there, and we know what's to be expected.
I share your optimism, Claire. Thank you very much indeed for your time today. It's been really nice chatting with you, and we look forward to a more positive outlook in the next 18 months.
Nice to see you. Thanks, James.
Thanks.